Can you talk to us about what you saw at that event and these allegations and this complaint that's been filed by your campaign director against Kim Salas?
Thank you. So I arrived there and I had been told that I was going to give an update. I was expected to give an update on infrastructure upgrades that we have made. I had a report ready to go and I just wanted to give folks an update. I was not allowed to give that update. I was told I was not on the agenda, which is fine. That happens. It could have been a miscommunication. So I backed off and didn't speak. But it was stunning to me that at an actual church, a functioning church, there were campaign signs out front on the church property for Bernita Jenkins and my opponent. That was shocking. I've actually in 25 years never seen something so blatant, in particular a church because of how sacred it is. I said to myself, oh, this must be a converted church they're now using for a community center, because a church would never do this. I have never seen a church do this in 25 years. As I looked around and I saw Mayor Go and other city staff, I was certain that the city staff and Mayor Go would not be okay with this. So I figured it was just a community center. I was stunned when they called the pastor up to speak. The pastor of that church, a current sitting church, tax exempt, that knows very well it is not to engage in political activity, with campaign signs literally in front of the church, in the ground, as if that church was supporting Bernita Jenkins and my opponent. I have never seen it before. And it was egregious. The city staff was there, Mayor Go was there. The fact that nobody said anything to these folks who were doing this, who were campaigning on site, it was shocking.
Sure. And are you sure, and are you certain that Kim Salas and her team put those signs in the ground there, or was this of the church on their own volition?
That's a great question. I don't know, but if the church did that, they should lose their tax exempt status. It's very clear. Everyone knows that that's a big, huge violation. My father has a church. He would never put a sign up there with me, nor would I allow him. It wouldn't even occur to him, because that's sacred ground. That's where that's divine sacred ground. And we were there for an actual official city event. And there were numerous city staff that were in attendance. They didn't seem to do anything about it.
And your campaign director and, of course, chief of staff at your supervisor's position, Mr. Romo, says that Kim Salas was there on state time at that event. Are you concerned that that's a campaign violation?
You know, it isn't clear what capacity she was there. It seemed to me as though she was representing the Assemblywoman. And so it's incredibly odd, uncomfortable, and illegal. And the fact that there were so many official government leaders around makes it even more shocking.
So you're not certain that she was there on the state Assemblywoman's time, right?
Well, somebody has to investigate that and research. I don't know. We assume that, but we don't know, and we assume that the district attorney will handle her matter with the same gusto, passion, and fervency as they have with my FPPC potential violations. We're hopeful that the district attorney's office will do the right thing. They'll demonstrate they are not biased towards their candidate, who was illegally campaigning, and we'll see. It's up to the Public Integrity Unit to show us how much integrity they actually have.
And I know that you were talking about just how confident you are about this race and how you feel very much in the right and with your activity and the support that you've received since the wake of these allegations have come forth. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and why for you, I guess, does you have these situations where it constantly seems like these allegations and of course a criminal past have come your way?
So the Public Integrity Unit has been attempting to send me to jail for about a decade. And it started with my Senate race back in 2015 with Mr. Scott Spielman, who eventually ran for a DA. Told the public that my Senate campaign was involved in criminality. Of course it was not, and that went away. But this unit in particular has been focused on me and finding something wrong with me in my office for over a decade. It's really a stunning investment of public dollars, of the resources. I don't think the public knows anything about it, and I think they would be outraged to know how much time and attention has been spent focused on finding any technicality they can to try to send me to jail. It is really a stunning thing to have the community for the first time be able to see it. And not everybody, and I appreciate that, but I have had such an outpouring of support and love over the last 48 hours. I don't even have words for it. I just can simply feel humbled and grateful that so many members of this community are coming to me now and say, we see what you've been saying. We're sorry that we didn't listen to you before. I'm sorry we couldn't see that the DA's office is weaponized against their political enemies and they do nothing to investigate or to make trouble for their allies. That's very clear and it is very obvious to the community. And that for me feels like a win, regardless of what happens in this election. It is up to the voters. I accept their will, but here's what I know. They can see it now, and it feels like a victory. And I feel very good going into this election cycle because we've worked so hard. We've gone door to door. We're back in precincts multiple times at the same doors. And I'm hearing good things from the community. I hear gratitude from them. And really, that's the best set you can hope for. And I feel good.
And you've won your supervisor races before, even with what happened again in 2018, 2019. Why do these things not seem to slow you down? I imagine it's the support that you had just talked about.
You know, the people are wonderful. Kern County is wonderful. And when people ask me, why are you still there, Perez? Why won't you leave? You could go do anything. You're so talented. I say, there are no people like Kern County people. There's no place in America where I feel that I could have sincerely helped develop a purple center of politics with good people here, righteous conservatives who sincerely believe in small government, who sincerely hate corruption, who are on my side backing me, and I just think it's so wonderful. I love Kern County. It's the county that raised me, that educated me, that launched me into the world, and I just couldn't be happier and more privileged to come home and to love on this community that has loved on me.
What can you talk about David Brust in particular? I mean, I want to ask you about him because we spoke with him the other day. He says if you can prove any business relationships with Mr. Couch, he'd like to see it. He says there's none. He says there's no relationship with Cynthia Zimmer or with Kim Salas as well. So what do you have to say to his comments about that?
Well, he's part of Kim Salas's campaign team. And at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce event where we had a panel for the primary, you know, she was at his table, he was guiding her, giving her advice. When it was done, he, Russell Johnson, another GOP operative in town, and her walked out together. I saw it with my own eyes. It's okay. He has the right to politic for whomever he chooses. That's his right. He's an American. But Mr. Brust is a former employee of Supervisor Couch, and they're dear, dear friends. They are political operatives. You can see it on their Facebook pages. I've seen it 100 times. And look, Mr. Brust can do whatever he would like to do. That's his right. I simply want the public to consider those facts. I'm not trying to prove anything. He can associate with whomever he chooses, just like Supervisor Couch can. I just want the public to know. That's all. That's it.
What is the evidence that he worked for Mr. Couch?
I worked at the county when he was an employee of Mr. Couch. So he was let go of at the county in 2014 when I was chair.
So he worked for Mr. Couch in the capacity in 2014?
That's correct.
So he has that past tie as well. And aside from just seeing him at the event with Kim Salas, he's worked with him, and you can verify that outside of just being at the same time at the same place that he works with the Salas campaign?
Yes, he's part of her team, just like the Prosecutors Association is part of her political team. Yes, I mean, it should be pretty obvious what this is.
Well, they've endorsed her, but that's not the same as people on that staff necessarily actively working with her, right?
You can draw your own conclusions, and so can the public.
So as it goes to that, do you have any regrets about your comments on Monday in the middle of the meeting, or I should say to start the meeting off?
I simply told the truth. I don't know what would be regretful.
Well, that it was going to go to public business first before you talk. There was an agenda to talk about carbon capture, and I know you addressed that at the end, but you superseded the meeting.
They showed up at my office while I was at the meeting to conduct it, so it literally hadn't stopped. I spent my weekend terrified of what was going to happen to me and my family. What are these people going to do next? I simply don't know, and nobody will stop them. It's terrifying as an American citizen to not know what these people are going to do next. And they're the highest law of the land here. Nobody will hold them accountable. It's actually quite terrifying. I felt the need to put that on the record so that the AG would know, so that the FBI could see it for real, that I am putting it on an official record, that I mean it, I'm scared for my safety. Please help us.
Could you have not have called a press conference or put out a statement or something other than taking the county time at the start of that meeting?
You know, that could certainly have been an option, and maybe I should have done that in hindsight. But no, I don't have any regrets. I think people watch, they expect their government to be transparent. That's the place in which they learn what their government is up to. I simply wanted the public to know about it. And as you see, I got back onto the dais and we did our job, and we've supported this Project 4.0, which is a very exciting moment for Kern County.
And just last couple questions for you. I want to talk about the relationship to Zimmer, what relationship she necessarily has to being as part of this group that's trying to remove you from your position. What role does she play, and what role does her office play?
I mean, that's a question for Cindy Zimmer, because I can't answer for her.
But you brought her name up and included them with the other individuals, right? So
I'm not sure what your question is.
Well, you've thrown her into this group of other people that are trying to oust you from her position. Yeah.
No, I do believe that for some reason I'm a target of the DA's office. I can't imagine that that decision is made without Cindy Zimmer's direction or approval. I don't know the facts, but I don't understand what this relationship is and why there is a decades-long effort to send me to jail. I don't understand it, and I'm afraid of them, and I need help.
Did you have any knowledge of Mr. Romo's meetings that are allegedly conducted inside your office?
No, I don't attend the Central Committee meetings, and I've never been there when such a meeting may or may not have occurred. So no, I don't, but I know that the office is investigating, and we're going to get to the bottom of that and be able to share with the public what we learn.
Is that your office in the background?
I'm sorry, what background?
Is that your office in his Zoom backgrounds that have been pulled up as exhibits?
My office personally, or the office of the 5th District?
Office of the 5th District.
No, I don't know, actually. We've been presented with nothing. We've been asked nothing. The DA's attempted to enter our office while it was empty and unstaffed, so they've actually never communicated with me one sentence about what's going on.
Would I be able to show you the background of his office on my phone, and you can see if that's the background of your office, and you can confirm with me?
You know, with the, I mean, I don't know what usefulness that is here because they are investigating, and I want to complete that investigation, and then we can talk about it openly and publicly.
It is a screenshot from the interview that Mr. Brust alleges was from an interview that I conducted with your chief of staff.
Okay.
Would you mind taking a look at that picture?
No, I don't think it's appropriate right now. I mean, the county has asked us to really let them do their investigation, and then they're going to make a statement. I just don't think it's appropriate. Okay. So thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for the offer. I'm done.
Right.
Thanks.